in many ways, it's about becoming intimate with and self-aware of one's own energy system, one's own energetic tendencies, mental tendencies, emotional tendencies, but seriously just one's own energy system, to become intimate with that first before trying to in any way, I don't know, control it or do anything with it. To actually, go keep a vigilance and awareness of how one's energy moves and what that energy is. Is there a constant agitation? Is there a tendency to anxiety? Is there a tendency towards hypervigilance? Is there a tendency towards racing thought? Is there a tendency, towards the opposite? Is there a tendency towards more, in Ayurvedic terms, it would be kapha, a kind of sedentariness where one might have a tendency to meet life with a sort of slumping, or a couch potatoing or something. Each one of us has a very unique imprint, footprint, type, the Vata types, the Pitta types, the Kapha types, and a whole range, because we're not one thing, we're not singular things. But this is not about Ayurveda, although it really helps to know that. It helps to know some of these systems. For instance, it helps to know what the human design gene key system, because it gives you an insight into what's going on the lower levels of yourself, on the more unconscious levels, and what the inspiration is to climb up into one's higher levels, if you like, want to use that term. And then there's the Iovetic system, which is very useful if you want to see and feel the relationship between mental states, emotional states, tendencies, and the tendencies of the body. With the tendency towards heat, for instance, with the Pitta types, the more hot types, and the tendency towards more gut-related issues for the Vata types, who are more prone to flighty thoughts and more highly strung, reactive way to the world. And then I've just spoken about the Kapha types. It actually, the Enneagram, although I'm not very familiar with the Enneagram, this Enneagram gives us an insight into where our tendencies are. Once we get an idea of what sort of person we are, then it kind of helps us in many ways, because the self-awareness, not only softens us and brings a deeper awareness when stuff happens because of life, but it also just brings an intimacy for us to be able to relax and know where to focus on things. For instance, Ayurvedically speaking, the gut, the gut system, the digestive system, is prone to agitation and disorder. Well, I know that needs attending to. So over the years, I have attended to it, largely because I got ill. But this is what I'm saying is just this deeper intimacy with one's energy system. I mean, everything that I've just said about all of these systems, yeah, they're all really good, but ultimately it comes down to just a willingness to feel one's energy system and to not buy into it. The energy of agitation, the energy of fear, the energy of anger, the energy of heat, the energy of coldness, the energy of, whatever it is, did I say agitation? Wherever this energy is, whatever it's caused by, whether it's got an emotional cause or a mental cause or a spiritual or a physical cause, it's still the self-aware one knows their energy system and becomes non-reactive to it. This non-reactivity is absolutely essential at a certain point, because if you just feel the energy and then respond to it or then react to it, you get in all sorts of trouble, because we're very feeling, sensing beings. And if we're constantly just feeling, especially if there's an unconsciousness, especially if we don't know why we're feeling what we're feeling, and that's okay to not know what you're feeling, because the environment, we're so environmental in so many ways, unconscious, hidden, subconscious, nuanced, subtle, profound, subtle ways. We're very connected with our environment. We don't give that enough kind of credence and status, because we tend to think we're just these islands, that stop here, and this is me, and that's you, and that's that, and but we're actually, on deeper and deeper and ever more subtle levels, absolutely wired in to the environment that we live in. And that environment is our small environment, our local environment, this room, this house, this town, this neighborhood, and then the bigger environment, this country, this continent, this world, and then to the bigger environment, this entire universe, the pulsation of the universe, the movement of the sun, or the waves of sun energy, the situation of the moon, all of these kind of very galactic forces are all interacting with us. And because we don't know that, and because we think we're the isolated, separate beings, we can't, because we can't get to those very subtle, very, very subtle, very, very kind of esoteric almost realms in daily conscious life, we actually think they don't exist. But if you try taking any of the plant medicines, or you try taking any of the psychedelics, first thing they do is open up the energy field. And there's enough proof and enough experience to suggest that they don't just create a strange fantasy world somewhere over there. They actually plug us into a very deeper, more profound level of reality that isn't available to us in everyday life. That's what I believe. That's what I see. And so it doesn't just mean that when we take the psychedelics or whatever, that then we're seeing it. It's there all the time. Our energy system is wired into the whole thing. So this is why, to become aware of one's energy system without doing anything about it, first become aware and then consider. First become aware and then consider what is going on here. And don't just, it's like intervention in the reactive process, intervention in the energetic process. That's what I'm talking about. And that brings about a kind of deeper calm for us, because it gives us clarity in it, and it keeps us rooted in a different sort of awareness. So I hope that's spoken to you a bit.